Hey everyone, today I'm going to be showing you how to make a simple pet following system that will only work with one pet, but I will also show you how to give it a nice animation, use C-frames, and also how you can make a rigging script that will automatically rig all of your pets for you. And by the way, this does replicate to all clients. Also, if you guys want to support me and want to have access to all of my project files, including the one you're watching right now, they will all be available on my Patreon in the $10 tier. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is, first of all, get a pet that we can work with. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to use this pet pack I'll leave a link to in the description. It's a free pet pack that has around 100 pets, and they all look really good. So what I'm gonna do is just choose one of them that I'm gonna show you how to set up. Okay, so I'm going to go with which one should I choose? I'm thinking a simple pet that walks. So something like this. Maybe. Okay, maybe this. Okay, let's go with this one. Let's go with this little cube. Okay, so I'm going to cut it, Control X, and I'm going to paste it right here. Now I'm going to add in a character to see how big it is. So I'm going to add my avatar, and let's see how big it is. I'm going to scale it up a bit because I want the pet to be pretty big, and I think that's about the right size. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to get rid of my avatar, and I'm going to actually rig the pet. So to do that, it's very simple. What I'm gonna do is, instead of showing you how to rig the actual pet, I'm going to do it with a script. So I'm going to add a script, and I'll show you how to do this. So, okay, so what we need is to get the actual pet, local pet equals script.parent, and then we will need to generate a primary part. And to do that, what we're gonna do is local cframe, so cf comma size equals pet get bounding box, and that's basically going to give us the size and the cframe of the model. So what I'm gonna do now is just generate a part, so local primary part equals instance.new, and I'm going to create a part, and I'm going to rename the primary part name equals primary, and primary part dot size equals size, and primary part dot parent equals pet. And now what we need to do is primary part dot anchored equals true, and primary part dot cframe equals cf. Okay, so now we need to, okay, so we've covered the pet with a primary part. Now let's see if that's actually going to work. And by the way, before we do that, we will anchor the whole entire pet. So for underscore comma v in pet get descendants do, if v is a base part, then v dot anchored equals true, and v dot can collide equals false. Okay, so now we will play the game or run it, and as you can see, it covers the pet with a perfect primary part. So now if we add a decal, I don't think it's facing the right way, so we can do that afterwards. Okay, so we can do that afterwards, but for now what we need to do, okay, so we've set the can collide property and the anchored property. Now what we need to do is set the primary part transparency equals 1, and what we're gonna do now is repeat this for loop. Actually, we'll do, okay, so pet dot primary part equals primary part, and then what we're gonna do is repeat this for loop and just paste it here. So if it's a base part, we're gonna check and v is not equal to primary part. Then what we're gonna do is, instead of setting, okay, so we're gonna set anchored to false, can collide to false, and what we're gonna do now is basically Okay, so we need to weld everything together. So local weld equals instance.new weld constraint, and weld dot part 0 equals primary part weld dot part 1 equals v, and weld dot parent equals primary part. Okay, so now what we need to do is see if this works. I think what we need to do is weld it before we unanchor it, just to avoid any problems. And let's see if that's gonna work. So we're gonna run the game, and as you can see, we have a fully rigged pet, I think. Okay, so everything is rigged up together. But what I'm gonna do is just check if vcon is a weld, or vcon is a weld constraint, then vcon destroy. Just add that so that you don't have to destroy the old welds that came with the pet. And now everything should be clean and set up correctly. Okay, so as you can see, everything is welded together. And what I'm gonna do now, just to clear up some confusion, I'm going to set the weld's name. So weld.name equals v. So it just takes the name of the part that it's welded to. So if you run this again, as you can see, everything is rigged. Oh, nothing works. Oh, I think I know why. This should be v.name. Let's see if that's gonna work now. And it should work, and everything should be rigged up correctly. So as you can see, everything is rigged up. Now what we need to do is just rotate the primary part. So I'm going to show you how to choose the right orientation. I'm going to add a decal to the primary part after running the game, and as you can see, it shows that it's facing the right side of the pet. So what I'm gonna do is just select the primary part and make sure that the face of the decal is set to the front, and just rotate the primary part until it's facing the right way. So to rotate it, what I did is press Ctrl R. So just press it once, see if it's right. Press it again, and I keep on doing that. Okay, so now as you can see, it works fine. So what I'm gonna do is just, after running the game, I'm going to cut the pet, and I'm going to paste the rigged version of the pet right here. And this is a fully rigged pet that we have. I'm going to delete this, and I'm going to go back to this pet right here, and I'm going to add in a decal and see if it's facing the right way. And as you can see, it is. So what I'm gonna do now is get this script and just save it up somewhere. I'm gonna put it in server script service, and I'm going to disable it, and I'm going to call it rigger. So every time you make a pet, so I'm going to just drag in another pet. Just choose any pet you want. Let's choose a very complicated pet. I'm gonna go with this one. I'm going to just delete it, delete the whole pack, bring this, and I'm going to run the script. So I'm just going to get this script, put it inside of the pet, enable it, run this, and it should work. So as you can see, the primary part is set correctly. It might not be very perfect, but it works. So if I add a decal, you just gotta rotate the primary part. You might want to mess around with the pet itself, because as you can see, it didn't work very well with this one, but that's because of some weird rotations with this pet. But for normal pets that you import out of Blender, I'm just going to choose another one to show you. Oh, cancel. Okay, so basically just get your pet, as long as it's just a simple pet, and just run that script through it. Okay, what I'm going to do now is just bring that script back to where it was. Server script service. I'm going to delete the pet, and I'm going to show you the actual pet following system. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a folder in the workspace, and it's going to be called pets, or player pets, which is a better name. Player pets, and I'm going to get my pet and just put it in replicated storage, and I'm going to add a script service, and I'm going to call it pet server. And in here we're going to need to get players equals game, go and get service players, local replicated storage equals game, go and get service replicated storage, so replicated storage, and players dot player added, colon connect function, and that's going to take the player, and players dot player removing connect function player. Okay, so what this does is whenever a new player joins the game, we get the player that joined the game, and what we're gonna do is create a folder. So local folder equals instance.new folder, and folder.name equals player.name, and folder.parent equals workspace.player pets. Okay, so what we're doing here is whenever a new player joins, we're creating a folder for the player, and it's going to be parented to this player pets folder, and we're setting its name to the player's name. And if the player is removing, then so the player is leaving, we need to get rid of that folder that we just created. So if player, actually if workspace.player pets, colon find first child, player.name, then okay, so instead of doing this and repeating this whole entire phrase, what I'm gonna do is just do local pets, local folder equals, just paste that in and just check if folder, then folder colon destroy. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're not gonna use physics for this system, because if we use physics, what's gonna happen is, I've had some trouble with using physics for pets, such as lag and stuff, and it's not really very smooth, and you can't really control the pet very well. So what I'm gonna do is add a script to starter player script, and it's going to be called pet follower. Pet follower. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is local work. No, we don't need to get a variable for the workspace. Okay, so we'll just need run service. So local run service equals game get service run service, and local function position pets. Or you can just do this inside of run service.render stepped connect function delta time. I'm not sure if we're gonna use this yet, but we'll see about that. And now what we need to do is do local pet cf or local pet offset, or maybe yeah, pet offset equals cframe.new 0 comma, okay, so maybe 5 comma 2 comma 5. And what I'm gonna do now is, okay, so we're gonna mess around with this later, but just we're just gonna do this for now. Okay, so we will loop through every single pet. So we're gonna get the player pets, so local player pets equals workspace colon for child player pets. Okay, so we'll loop through every single player's pets. So for underscore comma player comma folder in player pets when we get children. So we are getting the folder, and then to get the pets that are inside of the folder, we'll loop through the folder itself. So for underscore comma pet in folder colon get children do. I'm sorry if this is getting a little confusing, but it's really simple. We're just looping through the folder itself that contains the pets. Actually, no, we are looping through the folder that contains all of the folders that contain the pets, and then we are looping through the folder that we just got, and we are looping through, we are getting each pet that's inside of it. Okay, so the folder is going to give us the player's name, so local player name equals folder.name. Local character equals workspace colon find first child player name. Okay, so we will check if the character is there. So if character is equals nil, then continue and then what we're gonna do is, so if there is no character, then we're just going to continue with looping, no errors. Else we'll position the pet, so local end cframe or maybe local goal cframe equals player. Okay, so character dot primary part. Okay, so character dot humanoid root part. Humanoid root part. And by the way, in here, check or if or character dot or not character confine for child humanoid root part. Humanoid root part or character dot humanoid. Okay, so that's all we need. Okay, so local goal cframe is equal to okay, so dot cframe multiplied by pet offset. Okay, so now we will loop the pet. So pet dot primary part dot c frame equals, or maybe you can use petcon pivot to, which is the new replacement. Pivot to. It's not really new. It's been like a year or two. I'm not really sure. Okay, so con pivot to, and we will set it to the pet dot primary part dot c frame colon lerp. That's going to take the goal c frame comma 0.1. Okay, so now we'll play the game and see if this is gonna work. Okay, so I'm going to play the game. No errors quite yet. Let's see if there's a folder. So there is a folder for Polaris Prog, which is me. And now I'm going to just get the pet that we have and drag it inside of Polaris Prog. And as you can see now, this pet is following me around very smoothly. Okay, so I think that the offset is a little too big. So if you want to mess with this easily, what we're gonna do is add a C-frame value, I think, C-frame value, and just rename it to CF. And pet offset is going to be equal to workspace.cf.value. And now if you play the game, drag a pet. By the way, this will not work with multiple pets. That's gonna be for a later video. Okay, so if you just get your pet inside of your players folder, as you can see right now. Okay, so I just realized something. When you are enter your rigor script and make sure that primary part dot can collide equals false. Okay, so this will work, but for now I'm just going to do it manually. So can collide false on the primary part. Now if you play the game, I'm going to get the pet, so get it, paste it inside of the player, and now it's in the there's 0 offset, so I'm going to select the C-frame value that we added, and the position I'm going to set this to 1, 1, 1. Oh, I'm really sorry about this. I totally forgot, but this should be here. Sorry. Okay, so we're gonna get the gumdrop, paste it here again, and I'm just going to set the C-frame to 1, 1, 1, and I'm just going to mess around with this, you know. So the X, that's what it does. It moves that way. I want it to be around 3, which is perfect in my opinion. Or maybe 4. Maybe just 3.8. Perfect. And I think the Y, I want that to be 0. So Y of 0, maybe 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna stick with 0. And the Z is going to, so that's going to be how far you want it from the player. I want it to be just about 1 or 2. 2 seems perfect, so I'm just going to remember these values, just copy that position, and then I'm going to enter. I'm going to just get this, enter my pet follower script. Look at pet offset equals cframe.new, and just paste that in, and you can now get rid of this. Okay, now I found the perfect value for us. Now what I'm going to show you is how to add a nice floating animation to the pet. So what we're going to do is multiply this by cframe.new 0, comma, and math.sine. So we're going to give it a nice sine wave. So that's going to take time. I'm going to have some values here. So local hover speed equals 2 or 3, and local hover size equals maybe 2. Okay, so we're gonna do time multiplied by hover speed, and we're gonna divide or multiply the whole thing by hover size. Okay, comma 0. This is going to be a little too big, so I'm going to set this to 0.5 on the hover size, and we'll see what that does. So I'm going to play the game, get my pet, paste it inside of here, and as you can see, it starts just hovering smoothly. Okay, so I like it like that, and what I'm gonna do now is, I think that's going to be it. Maybe make the pet a little faster, so hover speed will be 5. And let's see how that's gonna look. I forgot to get the pet. Okay, so it looks pretty nice and it's pretty smooth. By the way, this will work with multiple players. And what I forgot to do now is just give myself the pet without having to keep on doing the same thing. So local pet equals replicated storage dot gumdrop clone pet dot parent equals folder. Good. Now if you play the game, as soon as you play the game, it should load in very fast. But what I'm gonna do is put a task.wait 5 seconds just to make sure that everything is loaded. And yeah, that's going to be it. After 5 seconds, it's going to give me the pet. And now it follows me around. Now I'm going to test this with 2 players, and I'll tell you if it works or not. Okay, so I'm going to switch to screen sharing my whole entire screen, and to show you that it works, so I'm just going to enable my display capture, and as you can see, it works smoothly on both the client and the other player because we are doing everything and handling everything from the client. Okay, so that's great. Okay, so I think that's going to be it for today's tutorial. If this helped, make sure to subscribe, like the video. Okay, so make sure to subscribe, like the video, share it with your friends, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.